I'm Claire from Created the Ottaway. I'm an independent demonstrator in the UK. Thank you for joining me. I've got a nice little make for you today, a bit of a inside is a wow card. I've done lots of different twist and pop cards and I wanted one that was a landscape, so I thought I'd share this one with you today. Obviously you open it up and there's your little twist and pop. I've used the Biggest Wish stamp set because I really wanted to highlight the many uses for this stamp set. But on my original one, I really wanted to demonstrate how pretty the Sweet Symmetry paper was. Both sides of the paper, I mean, it really is. Or which side do you use? The one that I'm going to show you today, I'm going to use the hand-penned Designer Series paper, just because that's equally as pretty. Don't know about you, but I'm finding it really hard to choose my favourite paper this year. The different papers that Stampin' Out have brought up this year are just so beautiful, and both sides of it, which is really tricky. So shall we get started? If I move these bits out the way and leave you with the sizes there, hopefully you can see them, so you can quickly jot them down. The original one is Calypso Coral with some Just Jade, okay, that one. But the one we're going to make today is going to be with Mint Macaroon, because luckily for me, Stampin' Up coordinates all its colours and we don't have to think about it too much. So that's the colour that I'm going to do today. On the back of your packs of paper, it actually lists the colours that coordinates. So if you've got a pack of the Designer Series paper, it actually lists it there, all the colours that match. So any of those colours will match the pretty papers inside. So job done. You don't have to think about it too much. You can just get on with the crafting, with the fun bit. So what do we need today? We are going to cut our A4 piece of card. Let me move those somewhere. In a minute I'll be saying to you, now where have they gone? As always, the kittens are around somewhere, so they may or may not join on the table as soon as they realise that I'm filming. If you like my videos, don't forget to subscribe. I try and do one every week, either a fun fold or one with a little bit of information in, something that I feel you could find useful. So we've got our base card. Mint Macaroon is what we're using, and we need to turn it into a piece of card that is 8 by 2/8 by 5 7/8. So on the long side, I'm just going to cut it off at 5 7/8, like that. And then if I turn it sideways, I just want to check that it's 8 2/8. So here in the UK, that's the standard half a sheet of the A4. Yeah, perfect. Now I'm going to score it on the long side, on the 8 2/8, halfway, so that's 4 1/8. Don't forget, don't use your cutting blade, which I very nearly did then. You want your scorer. And that's the base of our card done. Now before I do any twisty poppy bits, let's cover this in DSP, and then we know that we're job done with that. So I'm using this colour because I particularly like the Highland Heather that's in it, and the Mint Macaroon, just think it's a really fresh looking colour that I haven't used for a while. I've been stuck on the in colours. I don't know about you, but they're just so pretty and they just go together so well. But it was like, no, let's crack open a different Designer Series paper and give it a go. Now, I like to have a wow on the inside of my cards, but I want to hint at there being a wow on the inside. So on the outside of my cards, I'm going to put this panel here. Now, these panels are the same for here and here and on the other side. And they are 5 5 6/8 by 4, so they're just 1/8 of an inch smaller, and literally we're just going to glue those in place. So I've got my Tombow glue because it'll give me a bit of wiggle room. Oh, now that is a nice colour on the other side, isn't it? But we're going to stick, we're not going to think about it too much. We're just going to go with our original plan. So these were 5 6/8 by 4, and they do have a right way up, so I'm just going to make sure that I'm putting that on there with enough of a border all the way round. Okay, now the one opposite, obviously my card is going to open like that, so I'm going to put this one this way up. So if I lay it out flat, it looks like it's not flowing, but that side looks fine, that side looks fine. So try and ignore what your head is saying about they don't match, because it doesn't need to, it's a front and a back. Okay, so that's on there. Plenty of Tombow, but not too much, just so it gives you a little bit of a wiggle. Now you could obviously layer this up 1 or 2 times, but the card is quite bulky by the time you've added the twist bit, so I'm just sticking to 1 layer on the front and the back. Okay, so I'm happy with that, and I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to do the inside. Now the inside, I am going to do it so that it lines up. Okay, ish, she says, because I'm not sure. Is that a lined up bit? I could get carried away with this, couldn't I? I think I was right the first time. Maybe let's just try it one more time. Oh, actually that's it. So no one's going to notice this, only you, because the twist and pop bit's going to hide all of this, but I just wanted it to look like those lines flowed upwards. So let's stick this bit first. Oh no, now that is the drawback of sticking glue on this side. Who doesn't love a floral piece of DSP? It's terrible that I'm sticking it down and no one will ever see it. Take a breath, girls. Okay, so that's going there. I can almost hear the flowers screaming, "Don't hide us." Okay, so that's that side. Let's do the same with the top. Here we go again. Don't listen to the flowers, just cover them up. They can shine on a different card. Okay, plenty of glue. You can't really see it, but there's enough. It looks like I'm putting loads and loads of glue, but my Tombow is only coming out very thinly, which is a good thing, because otherwise it just goes everywhere. Okay, so that is my top and bottom. Very happy with that. Okay. Ta-da! So that's the base of my card. If I move that out of the way, we're next going to concentrate on the middle bit, on the twist and the pop bit. So we'll do the twist bit first. I'm going to take your same colour card. You could do it in a contrast if you want to. And this needs to be 2 inches. So, well, it's 2 inches by 7 1/4. So on the shorter side, I'm going to cut off a 2-inch strip. Like that. We're going to use that again in a minute. 2-inch strip, and it needs to be 7 1/4. So I don't know that you're going to be able to see this on camera, but let's do that. So that gives you a piece sort of like that size. Now this is going to be the twist mechanism. So the next thing we need to do is fold this in half. So in half this way, because it's 2 inches, will be 1 inch. And remember, really important, take that cutting blade out the way because you're just scoring. Okay, so score that at 1 inch. So that will give you, oh, it's got stuck there. a line across there. And then you want to score it in half on the long side, which is 3 5/8. So 4, 5, and score again. Okay, so that gives you a cross mark on your card. Now, we also need to do a diagonal across here. So we are going to fold that in half and we're going to mark back 1 inch on that side, and then we're going to flip it over and do the same. So you can do this with a pen, you can do it with just the scoring blade on here, which is what I might do actually. So I'm just putting it up to 1 inch, and then I'm just putting a little mark there and a little mark there, so top and bottom. I mean, I've put an exaggerated big mark on mine so that you can see, and actually it's already left a mark right through on the other side, so I don't need to do it. So now what you need to do is line up that mark there to that mark there, so across that way. Okay, so I'm putting it on my scorer and I'm finding my little line there and lining it up, and I see that now, lining it up with that mark there and that mark there, and when I'm happy I'm going to score diagonally. Okay, so I've got a score line like that, and I'm just going to do it in the opposite direction. So that mark there, that mark there, and I'm going to score that. And then what that means is I've got like a star. Okay, now this is the only tricky bit. You want to leave that triangle flat, so you've got to bend those in. Okay, so fold it back that way, and then oh, she says, right, let's show you that again. So bend that in, so that side is like that, and that side comes over like that. Okay, because you want a piece that's like that, so it's like a triangle with 2 legs. And then if you make sure that they are lined up, it will seem like your triangle won't go flat. But if you use your bone folder and just flatten that out, just manipulate your piece of card so that that is a flat triangle. Okay, it should go without too much effort. Then turn it over and do the same that side. You're just easing your card into the shape that it wants to be. Okay, so these 2 pieces should be in line. There should be not hardly any gap here, and that is the shape that you're looking for. Okay, so what you do is bring your card back in, and you want the middle point. Okay, so the middle, this card is 5 7/8 across, so that means that it was 3 5/8. I'm just using that as a mark, so I think it's that line there. Right, let me tell you that properly. So you need to find the middle of this card, and it is 5 7/8. So half of 5 7/8. Okay. 5 7/8. Half of 5 7/8 is 2. 2 7/8. That's not right, is it? Maths is not my strong point. Right. So if I get a piece of card that's 5 7/8, and I fold it in half. So 5 7/8, fold it in half, put it to the end there. That will give me a point. Let me put a little pencil mark. I've got a pencil with me. Because I just want a little mark where the centre is. And then I am going to stick my triangle bit. Where's my glue gone? Oh, won't come out now. So I'm just going to blot that down rather than it squirting out everywhere. And I'll line that up with that. So I want the cards to be able to open. So I've done it right on the crease, like so. So one side is stuck, so I'm going to, yeah. So now I'm going to put some glue on this side. Remember, you're only doing it on the little triangle area. I'm just going to spread that out a bit so it doesn't go anywhere else. Bring that down there. Okay, and that will be my twist mechanism. So just make sure that's glued like so. Okay. Ta-da. Now, for the piece that comes across this bit here, that again also needs to be 7 2/8 or 7 1/4, but this time by 3. So I've still got my other piece of my A4 left. So rather nicely, there is enough to get a 3-inch strip out of it, and it leaves that piece, which I don't need. And I'm going to cut that off at 7 1/4. 7 1/4. And then I'm going to split that into 4. So you've got a couple of score lines that you need to do. So one is 1 7/8. And remember, we're scoring. The next one is 3 5/8. 3, oh, I'm doubting myself now. 3 5/8. And then the last one is 5, and this is a bit tricky because it's 7/16. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 8 8. So it's one line before 5 1/2 if you've got a Stampin' Up! Trimmer. Okay, and that gives you your 4 pieces. If you just fold those, they're the bits that are going to go across. Now I'm actually going to stick the DSP and that on these now because it's easier to do it than afterwards. So I've got a couple of bits that I've got ready. I've got the same paper as on the front so that when you open it, it ties in with it. And I like to put one piece of white, one piece of floral, another piece of white, and then another piece of floral. So which way round do I want my floral pieces? I think there and there, because then it sort of ties in. Yep, I'm happy with that. So the message that I'm going to stamp, I'm going to do on these pieces now. So I quite like the Pansy Patch set where it says, wishing you a little extra happiness just because you're you. So I think I might use that for one side of it. And if you just use a block that's the right size for your sentiment, and I'm going to use Mint Macaroon. Oh, we've got trouble now because Rose is here. Have you come to help, Rosie? Okay. It might not be the best time to come when there's ink. Okay. My little stamp pad there. Oh, that's better. Thank you for moving. And try and get this straight on here. Perfect. Love that. That's just going to go there. Now this one here, what should we put on there? I feel like we should use something from the hand pen set because that's what the paper is. How about this little one here? Should we do that? That will fit rather nicely, I feel. So we do that piece in mint macaroon. Shall we just do one or two? I think one. Okay, that one's going to go there. So that's the stem. And then the bit that goes across, let's have a look what's there. Should we do that piece in Highland Heather? Just so it all ties it in together. Okay. Ooh. Be brave, just go for it. Okay, that piece is going to go there. Nice. Okay, did I give you the size of these DSP pieces? So they are 1 6/8 by 2 7/8. So let's stick those on now. If we start with the floral bits first. Okay, so I'm just putting a bit of glue on there, and it's just 1/8 of an inch smaller. It could actually probably go another slightly smaller. It depends how much of a frame you want round your pieces of card. I like mine to just flow together, so let's have a look at that. Could probably add a little gem on there as well. So that's those ones, and then the next one, let's put this one on next. That's the next bit. I can't believe the kittens have stayed out while I've been doing this, apart from a little visit from Rosie. Saying that, here she comes again. And this piece. So don't forget, if you like watching the video and you're into doing fun folds especially, there's usually one a week, so just subscribe and you'll be notified of them. I'm very new to this, so if there's any tips or any comments you'd like to make, they are very gratefully received. Right, let's bring this back. So now, how do we make this bit stick on here? So we're only going to glue certain parts of it. So this is exactly the same width as this, so that makes your life easier. If you hold that down and find the middle, okay, that's where that bit is going to go. Put one more thing down there, and with this little corner here, we're going to put some glue on just the top bit, okay? Just make sure that that's in the middle there, and then stick that side down. So it's only the top that is sticking. And the first few times you try and get it to twist, you're going to have to guide it because it's not sure what you want it to do. It's like everything, it needs a little bit of persuasion. But once it's got the hang of it, it's good to go. So this side, you're doing the same, but just on the bottom, so opposite to the other one. Okay, and just give that a couple of seconds, just press it down and just let it do its own thing. Okay, now then this bit is going to go up, so I'm just going to help it for a minute and see what happens when I try and twist it. Okay, so remember me saying it needs a little bit of persuasion the first few times. So you can gently persuade it and then press down. And then we just open it a few times. Okay, perfect. So what about the front? I feel like the front needs a little bit of love and attention. So I've got one of these dies that I've die cut previously. When I've got scraps and things, I'll just do a few extra. And I'm going to use the Biggest Wish set because I think it's really effective how it comes out. So we're going to use the birthday stamp there. And I'm going to do it in the mint macaroon again, because I think that will really tie in with the card. Because these are polymer stamps, you can see through them. So it's perfect. Get some ink on there. And then when you're happy, press down. And then the next bit I need is the happy bit. Okay, let's see. So this time we need happy, and I'm going to do it in the Highland Heather. I'm going to use the smaller block, I think. Let's take that one off, just because it will give me a better positioning. And I'm just going to do it straight over the top and hope that it's dark enough that it shines through. Okay, let's have a go. There, I think. Oh yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Really nice, loving it. Okay, so that's going to go there. Now on my other bit, my other card, there's a bit of trim that I put just so that it matched the inside. Have we got a bit of that going on anywhere? Let's have a look. I think we have. So, about 1/2 inch, do you reckon? Will that be enough? Let's cut a sliver off and see. Don't know if it is. Let's have a look. Just to finish it off, I think. Yeah, that's quite nice. So we're just going to put a bit of glue on that. Just so that the front and the inside tie in together really nicely. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. And it's a leftover bit, so it was already the right size. So that's going there. And then I think probably some dimensionals on that, just to make it stand out a bit. Where did I put those? Oh, they're there. Okay. And it's not got much weight on it, so 3 or 4 will be enough. Hang on, Rose. We're right at the end. I'll let you in. There you go. Ta-da! What a lovely card. Ooh, what a wow card. I hope you've liked watching me and catching up. I hope you like the makes. Like I said before, if you do like them, please send me a comment or subscribe, and I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks for watching.